This is what the Rocky Shore by SAS looks like after a complete teardown. I'm impressed by the quality of the build, the nice leather, the fully lined interior from heel all the way to toe. They have a nice 3mm plug in the heel for additional comfort, and up in the ball of the foot area. Also looks like a little bit of cork in there. You have a nice shank that's going to provide lateral stability, and then a nice thick chunk of EVA, which is lightweight and compresses, adds for more comfort, and then a really thick sole, rubber sole down here for long-term wear. This is going to be an overview and complete teardown of the Rocky Shore. This is by SAS, also known as the San Antonio Shoe Company. For you guys out there looking for a higher end quality casual shoe, this is a great option. Comes in two colors. You have the tan here or black. Sizes, you're going to go from a 7 all the way to a size 15. And then widths wise, you're talking a B all the way up to 6E. So B is going to be a narrow width. 6E is going to be very wide. This happens to be a size 12 in a 4E, also WW. So if you see a WW, that converts to a 4E width. So you're going to get a lot of room in this shoe. Being that it's made by SAS, it is American manufactured. It's part of the reason why the cost, but also really quality materials here. Nice leather all the way through. You have a little bit of fabric here for breathability. In the collar area, it is fabric, which is padded, and then the tongue has also got a padded fabric insert. And on the inside, you have padded fabric throughout the inside. On the outside, or midsole, we should start there, you are looking at an EVA midsole. EVA is really nice because it's lightweight and it adds a little bit of cushioning. And then you have a really nice chunky rubber sole to this. This is actually really thick compared to a lot of shoes that we've reviewed. Typically the sole is much thinner. That's done for two reasons. One, it's going to save on weight, and it's going to save on production cost. So thicker sole's really nice. Let's go ahead and check the durability of this. I'm using a Shore A Durameter. Most shoes are going to come in between a 70 and an 80 on the Durameter. This is reading 72 right now. Let's do a couple other spots. It's coming in at 73. The softer the rubber, the faster it's going to wear, but the more grip it's going to provide. At a 70 range, that is very common. Anywhere between 70 and 80 is pretty common for shoes. For comfort, let's see what we have inside the shoe itself. This insert doesn't really excite me. It's pretty flimsy. It's not going to add a lot of support, especially when you can break down the heel cup back here. I like to have a firmer heel cup in the insert simply because it's going to hold the heel in place and it's going to prevent it from sliding around. This has what they call their soft arch to it. It's got a little bit of a buildup, but not much. If you have higher arches, I would recommend replacing the insert. This does have their antimicrobial and antibacterial design in here, which is really nice. For additional comfort, they do have two heel plugs. They've got one back here or two plugs in the midsole here. One is going to be for the heel. I'm guessing this is 2 or 3 mil thick. And then they have one up towards where the ball of your foot is also. You're not able to see it. And that's going to provide additional all-day comfort. And then also in here, you have a little bit of a arch that's going to provide some protection for those that are needing arch. Attention to details. SAS is really good at attention to details. One of them being, if you look here, you've got this little toe guard that comes up. It's actually got stitching through it. I think it's got it's only got 3 stitches here. That's going to help hold that in so that it doesn't peel off over time. The stitching is very consistent throughout. The design look of everything is really nice. So let's go ahead and get into the teardown part of this. I almost forgot to talk about how rigid this sole is on this shoe. I believe it has a shank in it, and the shank is designed to keep the shoe from flexing. You want flex here in the toes, but laterally, I don't want to be able to twist the shoe at all. That is going to provide a solid foundation for your feet. Why is that important? Well, as you're walking over uneven ground, if your shoe is twisting and flexing, imagine how much extra work your ankles, your knees, and your hips are doing or having to do versus if you're on a stable platform. So we're going to get into this as part of the teardown, see if there's a shank in here. Additionally, the heel counter. This has a really strong heel counter. You should be able to break any heel counter down at the top. That allows your foot to slide in very easy. But once you go about midway down, this should be solid. That's going to help lock the heel in. This is a test you can do on your own shoes at home. So let's try and break this down some more. Getting through all this rubber, I have a feeling is going to be a nightmare, but we'll see what happens. That took a lot of work to get this shoe separated. It just goes to show the quality of the shoe. So let's talk about what we have here. We have some additional support back here in the heel. This is going to be a little bit tougher fabric because the heel gets a lot of wear. You have fabric all the way through, all the way into the tongue, into the toe box, all the way through. It's also got pleated. It's going to help with airflow in here. You have your footbed here. Here's those cushioning pads I talked about. You have it in the heel and the toe. Additionally, biggest problem I was having was this black section here. This is the shank. This is what's adding that lateral stability. It's keeping the shoe from flexing. You want to have that type of stability in a shoe. And then all this off-white, whitish color is all EVA. This is that lightweight foam. It's going to help with cushioning, especially in the heel. This has a 1 1/4 inch heel to it, so it is very chunky here for additional comfort. And then, of course, you can see here how thick the actual rubber sole is all the way through. So you're going to get a lot of wear in the back and then up in the toes typically. So very well constructed shoe. This is the SAS Rocky Shore.